Okay, in this video I'm showing you how to create a Java database application. I may not be able to cover the entire thing in this particular video, but I'll be making more videos later. So I want you to watch this video to know how exactly my program works. Here is a design that I've made using Java Swing. I have created a table here, that is JTable. I've got text boxes, I've got labels here, I have a drop down list here, and I have radio buttons here for gender selection, male and female. And then I also have the save button, view, delete, exit and clear button. Now if I want to view the database files, then I have to click on the view button. So let me run this program and show you how exactly it works. So I right click, run this program. It's still loading. Yeah, now I want the details from my database table, so I'm just going to click on view button here and take some time to connect to the database and to fetch the records. So right now I have about 3 records, and one is Amy, Ali and Bob. There are 3 records here, and the age is 15 years for, and then the nationality also is given here. Now if I want to add a new record here, then I can use these text boxes here and the data entry design here. So I'm going to enter the next name as Annie, and I would like to make the age of 16 years, and American, female, and save data. So it says one record inserted successfully. So I click on OK. Right now you won't be able to see the record here because it has written in the database, but it has not fetched here. So to fetch it again, we need to click on the view button. As you can see here, Annie's record has been added here. Then if you want to delete a particular record, then let's say I want to delete Annie's record, then I click on Annie's record and click on delete here. It says one record deleted successfully. Once again, it doesn't show here how it is deleted because I still have to refresh the button here. So now you can see when I click on the view button, these are the 3 records that are saved in my database, and that's how it shows. Now if I want to clear the data entry that is given here, then I click on the clear button here. It will clear out all the data that is present here. It doesn't clear out from the database. Please understand, it is only to clear the text so that I can make a new entry here. It doesn't delete the files, or it doesn't clear from the database files. These 3 records are still remaining in my database file. Now exit button is to exit the program. So this is how I have designed it. Now if you want to see the coding part of it, then need to go to this line again. When I double click on the save button here, it will show us what it is. But before I do the save button, I would like to show you the view button code here. View button code is basically used for connecting to the database and fetching the records from there. So we need a particular file which is called the connection class, and we need to have an object of connection so that we can establish a connection between Java, the front end, and the back end. Then for that we also have to use another class for name. This is class.forName, and we have to give the driver software which is necessary for connecting the 2 software programs. So database engine has to be connected to this. So we say net.Ucanaccess. This is a file that I have downloaded from the internet, and I'm going to cover this in my next video, how to get all these details. So JDBC, that is Java database connection with Ucanaccess driver. So we are telling Ucanaccess driver has to be used for connecting the Java database file, and this is the driver software path. Next we also have the string path. So this is where my database file is residing. So it is right now on desktop. So I'm telling you look for the desktop file, and that file path, since it's a long file path, I have created a string uh, path as the variable, and I have saved it in path. Now what happens, I have to create a URL object. I have to create another variable. I have named it as URL. You can call it anything. So here jdbc.Ucanaccess, and then we have to tell this is the path of my file, and you need to connect using the jdbc software. So jdbc.Ucanaccess slash, and then we are telling the path, go look for the path here. So this path can be replaced. We can type the whole thing over here, but I made it simplified by storing it as a path variable and bringing it here. Now we have to establish the connection. So we say con is connection object, and driver manager dot get connection. So once this has been established, the connection, now we call the method called get connection, and we pass the URL. My URL is this software plus my path of the file. So that is stored as a URL string object, string variable, and that I'm putting it as a parameter here. Now what happens? A statement, we need a, when you establish a connection with the SQL database, it creates a statement. There are some statements that we need to execute, and that will be written in structured query language. It's called SQL command. So those language will have to be translated. So our Java speaks some other language, whereas your SQL database speaks some other language. So we need to establish a connection statement. So statement has to be from a class of statement. So if you see here, when I've imported, I have imported import java.sql.statement, sql.resultSet, sql.say exception handler, and also I have given JOption pane. So these are prepared. Statement is another one that I have used. So here sql.connection, driver manager, whatever that I need from the library file, I have imported them. Now what is going to happen here is, now my program begins here, where I have given, so string, what exactly happens in this particular case is, we have given the explain. Now prepared statement psmt is equal to connection dot prepare statement of SQL command. What is my SQL command here? My SQL command is to, I'm sorry, I'm showing the I was showing the view button. Yeah, here view button. So once the thing is established, the connection till here we are clear. Get connection is a method that will take one parameter, which is URL, and that is going to look for the particular file from your location. The location is desktop. Now I have to prepare a statement which says create statement. Now what is this create statement? Create statement is nothing but whatever that I give here. See, string SQL is equal to select star from my database table. So my DB table is the name of my access file, and I'm saying select star. Star means get all the records. Star is a wildcard character that's been used here to tell that SQL that it has to fetch all the records present in the database table, and that has to be fetched and stored in another object called result set. To store the results fetched from the database, it has to be stored in another object, and so I have named the object as rs. It belongs to a class called result set. Result set rs is equal to, when you execute this query of SQL command is select star. Now when you execute the query of SQL statement, that statement fetches some results, and that has to be stored in rs object. That has to be handled by rs object. Just like we use the scanner class, input is equal to whatever they type from the system keyboard, it is stored in, it is handled by the scanner class. Here result set is handling the same thing coming from the SQL records, SQL table. Now rs is equal to, that is result set is equal to st dot execute query, which is my SQL here. So here once the execute query has been executed, once this query has been executed, what happens? We are going to store it in a table here, TL. So how did I name the table here? When I go to the design, and when you go to right click on properties here, change variable name, I have named it as T1 here. The name of my table I have as a variable, I have named it as T1. So here it says in this one, so T1 dot set model, this is something that you have to type it, whether this is the command that has to be copied and pasted, because this is Java database utilities dot result set to table model. So I'm creating a table model and get the result and put it in my T1 as the table model. So T1 has to be treated as a table model is what I'm trying to tell by this command here. This also has to be imported, and we have done that. Now we also have to handle when SQL statement like this, select star from my database table. We also have to handle the exception that can come up when SQL commands have to be executed. So those exceptions are handled by the catch block. So catch block says class not found exception. The class may not be found, that exception must be handled, or it could be SQL command exceptions that you may have. So whatever the error that occurs must be handled by the catch block. So try and catch block are always used in the commands where we use the SQL statement. So with that I have completed, and system.out.print e. E means the message of whatever the error message that this particular commands throw, that has to be handled by E. So E is an object which will print system.out.print E is what I've given. So that's the catch block, and with that I have closed my view button code. So view button code is just this much, where you connect the database, where you tell where is the path of your database, and then you create an SQL statement and handle the SQL statement using a result set. I hope you are clear about the steps that are given here. And what I want to show you here is, when I go back to the design view, you will understand when I run it one more time. When I go to source file and right click and run it one more time, you will understand how exactly this connection works. So when I click on view button here, it is fetching all the records. This is my result set where it is showing in the form of a table T1. So I hope you understood this video, and thanks for watching.